14. Home. Sharn and Cree paddled to shore, got out, and dragged the canoe onto a narrow sandy beach. Sharn retrieved his bag from the boat, then reached down and took a smooth black stone from the riverbank. "Many thanks, my friend," Sharn said, dropping the stone in his bag. "Any time," Cree said. "Great spirit go with you." "And with you." The two men placed a hand upon each other's shoulder, nodded, and parted ways. As he walked away from the river, Sharn heard Cree slide the canoe back into the water and jump in, followed by the soft splashes of the paddle. Cree started singing about a fire in the hearth, and a spider in the dark, and a barmaid of proper drinking age with hair the color of stars. The sound of Cree's voice faded as Sharn walked, until he heard only the wind in his ear and the birds in the trees. Sharn walked south across the open prairie lands of the Pitanpoa. Clouds covered the sky. A warm, steady breeze blew out of the southwest. Tall grasses brushed against his hands. Two Nandaki buzzed through the air, big as small boats zipping to and fro. Sharn felt a deep peace in this stretch between Manvarin and home. There were no foreigners here, no enemies, nothing harmful but a few Weeviks, and they could be scared off. He could see for days in every direction. After crossing the Pitanpoa, Sharn spent the night in Durdin's village as he always did. The village sat at the edge of prairie and forest close to a creek. Their round houses were spread in a loose circle, fire ring at the center. Spirits soared in the village that evening. The Saba flowed freely, and their pipes, full of newly harvested smiochka, made many circles among the men. Not because of Sharn, though they were glad to have him, but because a raiding party had returned with the two stolen children. The story of the rescue was told and retold around the fire. The party snuck into the Minkera settlement at dark, found the children, cut the heads off the two men holding them captive, and brought the children and the men's heads back to the village. They burned the flesh off the skulls so the teeth could be made into jewelry. In the old days, they would only have kept the bones of the brave. Now the Quali killed less often, so they used the teeth and bones of even the weak and cowardly. Sharn tried to enjoy the celebration, but he barely ate. In his mind, the two dead men represented two more logs thrown on the fire of tension between their two peoples. A large man sat down beside Sharn with a grunt, slapping Sharn's shoulder with a huge paw of a hand. Why the heavy spirit? Sharn Nolwen. He was not as young as when he had broken up the fight between the young Qualyi and Kote men at the meeting of many tribes, but his eyes still sparkled with the same youthful mischief. "Chief Durdin," Sharn said, "sorry, many thoughts occupy my mind these days." "Look at you," Durdin said. "Not yet a chief of your village, and already you carry the burdens of one. May I give you some counsel?" Sharn nodded. "Please share your wisdom." "Life is very short, goes like this," Durdin snapped his fingers. "Enjoy the good times. The bad times will demand your full attention, but giving them your attention now only robs you of right now's joy. Take it from one who has seen his share of both good times and bad." "Sounds so easy," Sharn sighed. "But how do I stop thinking about everything that could go wrong?" Durdin smiled. "Fill your mind with everything that could go right." He laughed. Sharn could not help but feel better in the big chief's presence. The next day, Sharn walked the forest and riverlands of Paredidane, lands he knew better than the back of his own hand. Around midday he arrived at his village, laid out along the great river, Paredinu. Almost as soon as the roundhouses of his village came into view, he heard Testara's voice. "Tenamok, look! It's Atta! Atta's home!" Sharn saw the shapely form of his mate and a small boy near her. The boy stared, finger in his mouth, other hand grabbing onto his mother's skirts. She gave him a pat and said, "Go! Go get him!" The boy smiled wide and took a few hurried steps, then wobbled, recovered, and took a few more steps. He yelled and squealed, and Sharn could not help but smile. The boy laughed, then lost his balance and tumbled sideways. Sharn ran to his son just as his little face broke into tears. He picked the boy up and lifted him high. "Tenemach!" he shouted. The boy laughed, tears still on his cheeks. Sharn threw him up in the air and caught him once, twice, 3 times. His son burst into giggles each time. Sharn brought him close and held him tight. The boy rested his head on his father's shoulder for half a breath, then pushed away, ready to play again. Sharn set Tenemach down on the short grass. The boy held onto his father's leggings for a moment, then spotted some stones and crawled over to inspect them. Tesdara wrapped her arms around her mate and laid her face against his chest. "We missed you," she said. "I missed you," he said, "both of you very much." She let go and kissed him, then looked over at their son sitting in the grass, banging stones together, talking to himself in a language only he understood. "His walking is getting better," Sharn said. Tesdara smiled and nodded. "A little better." She looked up at his face. "Are you hungry?" He nodded. "I am." "Come," she said, "there is still stew." Sharn scooped up their son, and they walked through the village, past the low roundhouses and farm to the cook fire. A clay bowl sat next to the small fire. Tesdara grabbed the bowl with a folded piece of animal hide and handed it to her mate, then a spoon and a couple bean cakes. Their son played nearby as Sharn ate, and Tess caught him up on village news. He told her about his meeting with Ponder, about Cree and his interest in Drekken, the Kote aggravator, and about the rescue of the 2 stolen children by Durdin's people. "I am afraid," he said. "It was a just thing to take the children back, even to put to death their captors. But Minkera have their own laws. If we take the lives of their men without following their laws, they will not like it. I do not think they will let it go." "This is not the first time," Tesdara said. "These things have happened before. The Minkera chiefs know their people take what is not theirs. They agree with us and accept we have a right to justice. Things have changed, Kiimana. There are so many of them now, more and more all the time, and we are becoming less. The Qualidane are dying from sickness faster than we can make children. But the Minkera are like the stars. Every ocean boat brings enough of them to fill this village twice over, sometimes more." "I am afraid," Sharn repeated, "not for us, but for him." He gestured toward Tenemach. "For his family and their children. If the Minkera continue to build homes and villages and farms on our lands, like they do in the Piikwila and the Turotsiito, then surely they will take it all. What can we do against men who number like stars when we are like the leaves of a single branch, Kiimana?" They sat in silence, then Tesdara asked, "What of my collection?" Sharn smiled, then showed her the stones he had gathered on his journey. "This one came from a cliff near the ocean," he said, "and this one from the shore of the Varinu, where Cree and I parted ways." He gave her a few others he had picked up along the way, and she inspected each one with complete focus. "Beautiful," she said. "Is it not fascinating so many different stones live in the same land?" "It is because the stones have no voice. They cannot argue and fight with one another." Tesdara smiled. "You are falling into a bitter mood, my love. Go work on Watu's canoe. You will feel better." Sharn smiled and nodded. "Yes, Kiimana.